Hello everyone, welcome to another video from Better Guru. In this video we want to look at the steps to get going on Jenkins. So what we want to do is we want to set up Jenkins as a standalone application so that it works fine. Let me tell you the prerequisite before we look into the steps that are required for setting up Jenkins as a standalone application. First, you need to have JDK installed on your machine. So I have JDK 1.8. How do I verify that? So if I go to the command prompt, I type this java-version, it gives me the version installed. So that's number one. You need to have this. Anything else? No, not really. That's it. It should work fine. So make sure that you have JDK 1.8 installed. If you don't know how to do that, watch out for another video that we have posted on our channel. Let's see then. So that's the prerequisite. Let's then look at the step. So step one, what should we do is we should look for a standalone application. So thanks to the community of Jenkins, they have made it pretty simple. You should be looking for Jenkins var as of now, a var file. So I remember starting with 1.x of Jenkins, but now there is 2.x that is already in the market, and I also see that now the people are working on Jenkins -x, which is going to be used heavily for continuous delivery. At least that is what they are saying as of now. So anyways, let's look for Jenkins var file. So I would say download Jenkins var file, and it goes to jenkins.io download. So there it is, and it says download Jenkins. That's the version 2.2, and what do you want to install it for? So it's asking me, which version do you want to install this for? So do you want to install this for Windows? I say yes, it's for Windows, and it's going to say alright, thank you for downloading, and it is trying to do that now. And let's see, once it finishes, what kind of output do I get. Meanwhile, let me just verify that I'm doing the right thing by also looking at the update center Jenkins var file. And you see here there are many versions of Jenkins var file, isn't it? The latest one is 2.204, right? And this is this is there. So let me see if I can download that. So it's downloading the var file here, 60.5 MB. So that means this is going to be the entire binaries of Jenkins. So let me pause the video here for a couple of minutes for both of this to get downloaded. Okay, so the download was successful. What I did after downloading is I moved it to one of the folders on the desktop, and here I typed cmd in the Explorer. So the command prompt opens at that window. Let me increase the font size so that it's much visible to all of you. And it's a very simple command, so java -jar, and just drag the Jenkins var file here. Now before I hit on enter, one very important thing is, for all the tools that you use, what happens is you get a home directory where you have the binaries set up, you have the library set up. So typically in Windows, these are installed in, or these are saved in the program files. So you will see, for example, for Java there are this C drive program files and Java directory. So likewise you will have a home directory even for Jenkins, and where this gets created, So by default it gets created in C drive users, whatever username you log in with, and it should be available for view right here, so I don't see anything right now with regards to Jenkins. Let's hit enter and see what happens. So if I hit enter, and it's, you see there, right, it has now created a folder called .jenkins. So that's the home folder. It's going to do a lot of stuff now. It's and I'm sure you all understand what's happening behind the scene, isn't it? These are the logs. It is publishing for us. It is looking for the default plugins. It is it's a Jenkins initial setup is required. So it's giving me the admin password. Important, right? This is the admin password that I'm going to use when I'm going to run it for the first time. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to ensure that I save it in a notepad file. This is going to be important when I run Jenkins. It's saying that this initial password should also be available inside, have a look, C drive users amid.jenkins secrets initial admin password, so .jenkins secrets initial admin password. If I open this with the notepad, and it's the same password available there. Perfect. So that's one. And the second is, you should always wait for this message, Jenkins is fully up and running, right? So let's try and run Jenkins then on the browser. So http localhost :8080, hit enter, and if all is well, it should give me the Jenkins unlock installation. So that's the view. It is asking for the administrator password. We already have that ready with us. So take this, paste it here, click on continue, and it should start installing. So it's asking that what are the plugins that you want to have by default. So install the suggested plugins, keep it to default, and there you go. It should give you a list of plugins which it should try and install by default when we set up Jenkins for the first time. Interesting. Unable to connect to Jenkins. Can we retry and see what happens? Select plugins to install. So the plugins are already selected. Pipeline is something interesting and new for 2.x. I would also say parameterized trigger. Do we have git by default? Yes, we're going to use that for our pairtags, and let's see what happens now. Right, so I continue to get this error, unable to connect to Jenkins. So what I did is I went to the update Jenkins -ci.org download var file, and I've downloaded a different version, 2.190, and that's where it is. Let me start the command prompt, and let me start java-jar. Now before I run this, I'll stop this because otherwise it is going to give me the issue with so it's kind of loading it right now, what I can see, and let's see what's happening. So it started interestingly. It was stuck at some point, so I just clicked on retry, and it has started to set up all the plugins by default. And you can see the logs for all that it is trying to install. You can see the log information on the console, right? So let me pause